Well, I love that part, but let's talk about, you talked about leadership recruitment this time. Imagine you want to employ someone into an organization. There is a level of certification, BSc, HND, Masters, but when it comes to leadership, you know, as a senator, as a president, you don't, I think SSC is enough, or maybe you don't even have to pass it. But how do we fix this? How do we sanitize the leadership process in Nigeria?
Thank you. That's a very important question. So several years back, you know, my background is in engineering, civil engineering. But then, of course, I crossed over into the social sciences, I should say. Apart from being a leadership person, I went on radio 30 years ago, began to teach people basic principles for success, and then also started the church. And then I took interest in the leadership process. I found out at the highest level of success, you become a leader. At first, you focus on yourself, succeeding for yourself, right? But when you bring in leadership, you actually empower other people to succeed. Then they help you to achieve bigger goals. What I then saw was this big gap. If leadership is this important, why don't we have leadership schools? The dearth of leadership skills is so palpable. So it's like, I was on a flight with a former governor, a friend. He did some things while he was governor that showed that he has capacity for vision. He could envision his state many years ahead. So I said to him, I love what you did while you were in office. You had vision. I said, but I cannot say the same about most of your contemporaries in political office. He said, Sam, Nigeria is like an aircraft that is being flown by pilots that did not go to flying school. And when they crash the plane, then everybody will be screaming. So I thought to myself, that is true. Okay, so where are the leadership schools? That's why I founded the Daystar Leadership Academy, March 2002. And actually now we've had over 52,000 people come through the school. We need leadership skills. So like you say, how do we do our recruitment? Well, as you can see, we're a democracy and the recruitment is done by the citizens. If most of the citizens don't know what leadership is and what it's about, then our recruitment process is flawed. How do we train Nigerians for leadership? Stop thinking that leadership is just about occupying a position. When we say our leaders, or we say leadership, everybody's mind goes to the people at the top in government. The definition has changed. I studied leadership right up to the doctoral level. Leadership is the ability to influence one or more people to achieve goals. The key word, influence. And once you bring the definition down to influence, then you see that it happens at all levels. Every one of us has leadership potential. The leaders don't drop from heaven. People that occupy leadership positions don't drop from heaven. They grow from amongst us. Okay, so you say the countries where they're getting things right. So how did they prepare people for leadership? It starts from the kindergarten. The best way to influence anyone is to love them and to serve them. Help to meet their needs. So this is what I found out. That in the parts of the world that are fast developing, they put service in the curriculum from primary school. They make their young people to do volunteering. You must go to an orphanage. You must go somewhere and offer your services for free without expecting anything in return. You get to high school, they actually raise it, they award you credits, they give you mark for doing volunteering. You want to go into university, they ask you to write a personal statement. What they are looking for there, one of the major things they're looking for, apart from your intelligence, the volunteering that you have done. We don't have that equivalent. The poverty in our environment makes everyone to focus on survival. So we are hyper selfish, hyper self-centered. That's why even in communities, right, or streets where you have some of us that are rich, you see the road wretched. Each house powerful, beautiful, big, because that service aspect has been taken out for most of us. Now that's a disaster. If someone now gets into a position where they're head of a department or head of a state or even the country. But they have not gotten rid of self-centeredness. What the person will do with our commonwealth is to expend it on themselves. Their greatest vision would be how to get the most out of the commonwealth. So if this becomes the culture, then when we are picking leaders, we will not pick the person that is the richest, we will pick the person that serves the best. I think that's the way to go about fixing our recruitment process. It is Nigerians that choose the leaders.